What is good, Crypto Paradise fam? I'm Crypto Amaru. We got Crypto Hitman in the house. It is Thursday, October 24th. We got some big news to share with you guys. We also have some cool news topics to cover. Which way is Bitcoin going to go? We got the election coming up. Is Crypto Hitman's prediction of 100K Bitcoin by the end of the year, is that going to happen? Stay tuned to find out. But the first thing we want to cover today, you guys know we work our asses off here at Crypto Paradise. We do it for you guys, and we do it for the good of the space. And with that, we have huge news to announce. The second biggest exchange in the entire world, 50 million users. You guys know the name. It is none other than Bybit, has agreed to become a sponsor of Crypto Paradise, and they are even offering anyone who uses our referral code up to $30,000 in bonuses just for trading on Bybit. I'm super psyched. I don't know how you feel, man, but I just want to lead with that.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think proof is in the pudding that we have value here at Crypto Paradise. We got that nice real following that is growing, and we're trustworthy. You know, the people behind the scenes at Crypto Paradise, myself, Crypto Amaru, Nate, and the list goes on. All trustworthy people that big companies such as Bybit find value in and wanted to sponsor the show. You may see that a lot of other big name people in the space also are sponsored by Bybit. So it is really nice to be part of that Bybit family. And as you can see here on Crypto Paradise's Twitter, if you use the link in this tweet or in the description of this video and you sign up, you are entered to win up to $30,000. You get 20 bucks simply for signing up, registering at Bybit, checking out their platform. Then as you trade and utilize some of their product suite over there, you do level up and keep earning more and more money up to that $30,000 level. So check out more information over here on Twitter. And remember, click the link in the description below. You'll see more of Bybit logos, Bybit on our website, Bybit links, Bybit discussions. Maybe we'll even get some of the execs over at Bybit to do an interview here at Crypto Paradise to tell you why their exchange continues to poach users from Binance and other exchanges. This leads us into the first news articles of the day. Binance loses ground to rivals. DEX is on the rise. The report, Binance falling market share could present a significant opportunity for smaller rivals like Bybit and OKX. It's hard to call Bybit small now. I know it was a few years ago, but like Ian said, second biggest in the world right now, Bybit, and growing rapidly, probably because they are putting their money where their mouth is and sponsoring big KOLs, big influencers, big projects, and big shows like Crypto Paradise, and getting the word out that we have a safe and secure suite of products over there at Bybit. The leading cryptocurrency exchange, Binance, is losing market share with smaller competitors and decentralized exchanges. DEXs are gaining momentum. Obviously, since the FTX fallout, more and more people are using DEXs because you can use MetaMask or Phantom Wallet or any of these wallets to safely trade against liquidity pools on DEXs. Also, remember, there really isn't retail investors right now. This is a lot of OGs in the space who have been here for several years, therefore feel comfortable in using the DEXs. When the real bull market starts, we get new retail investors, you get new institutional investors. I think this will start to teeter back to centralized exchanges such as Coinbase and Binance. What do you think?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. When retail comes in, the first thing, because they normally come from traditional world of investing where you have a custodian type exchange product like a Vanguard or something. And so to move over to a Coinbase, a Binance, or a Bybit, that feels natural. Whereas going the full DEX route with your MetaMask or what have you and going on Uniswap, that's a learning curve. That being said, this cycle may end up being slightly different because meme coins are the meta right now. There is no doubt about that, and they're going to continue to crush it this cycle. And I think retail is going to be responsive to that because people want to invest in stuff that's going up. Memes are going to kill it. The only way to invest in memes, in most cases anyway, unless you're talking about the big dogs, the new memes, they're all on DEXs. They're only on DEXs. So if the new retail guys want to make it, they want to make money quick, obviously you can get wrecked too, but if they want to make it, they're going to have to figure out the DEX thing. So I think the DEX share actually continues to expand a bit, but of course, Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, OKX, they're not going anywhere, and they're going to do fine as a business.
Yeah, I would agree with a lot of what you're saying. I mean, recently, some sexes are trying to chase some of these meme coins. Moodang was the big one that everybody's talking about. This baby hippo got listed on Binance at 20 cents, ran to 30 cents, and now it's all the way down to 7 again. So you got to be careful with the cabal coins. And I still think the meme coin sector does best in the dexes because it avoids a lot of the cabal, a lot of the token allocations that are given to big exchanges that then get dumped on the retailer's head. But yeah, nothing huge here, nothing really surprising. Bybit did surge from the number 7 spot last year to the number 2 spot this year, trying to chase Binance. But Binance is still far and ahead. The number 1 exchange, CZ's out of prison. Binance still doing their thing. And you really got to support Binance. I've always been a supporter of Binance since launch in 2017. A lot of people thought they were shady and CZ and this and that, but they have proven you all wrong. They're the number 1 SEX. They have BSC network, which is one of the top networks, and they're doing their thing with that BNB token. So awesome to see, and awesome to see our sponsor Bybit moving from 7 to number 2 over this past year. So happy to have Bybit on board. And again, check out the links in Twitter or the description below. So I guess the next topic we can go over here is Ethereum. You know, Ethereum, for many reasons, we're relying on Ethereum to kind of lead the way. When Ethereum starts to outperform Bitcoin, that means Ethereum and other layer 1s and layer 2s outperform, which means altcoins explode and we get the altcoin season. A lot of people who watch this hold, use, and invest in altcoins. So we all want the altcoin season. It's been horribly underperforming Bitcoin. That's why the Bitcoin dominance is up around 59%. Todd Butterfield has been saying Bitcoin dominance to 60 to 61%. Then we see a pivot, and maybe that's where Ethereum can come out and shine, and we can have a mini altcoin season. And that's lining up well with this news here, Amaru. Ethereum Verge upgrade to enable nodes on phones and smartwatches. This is going to allow any person with a smartphone to run an Ethereum node. Also, we do know that in order to run a node right now, you need 32 Ethereum, which costs quite a bit of money. What is that? $50,000 or something. That is going to be able to do no minimum requirement, and people can individually stake Ethereum on their own, which is going to be huge for allowing even the small fish to get on the Ethereum network, create more decentralization, create a bigger network effect, and hopefully that lines up with the Bitcoin dominance rolling over, Ethereum outperforming, and then we get that alt season.
I saw this news article yesterday. I was so pumped to see it. People need to take a step back and realize what's going on when you compare Bitcoin to Ethereum. On the price side of things, the reason why Bitcoin is outperforming is because the Bitcoin ETFs are doing very well. Wall Street has bought into this notion of digital gold, and they are piling in, and the inflows are piling up on the Bitcoin side, running up the price. Retail is not really in that. We know that. Although that's changed a little bit. I read a few days ago that retail is slowly coming in again. But we're nowhere back where we were in 2021. That will happen. So Bitcoin's outperforming primarily because Wall Street, digital gold, that narrative is easier to understand. Ethereum, though, I think actually has greater upside potential for a few reasons. One, when people have made a bunch of money on Bitcoin, they cycle down to the next logical thing, which is Ethereum. It's a smaller cap, less liquidity, easier to pump. So normally Bitcoin runs up. If Bitcoin runs 3 times, Ethereum runs 5, just by loose math. So that's just first and foremost, just liquidity pools, all that FOMO, whatever. But the bigger thing is that Ethereum evolves and improves and gets better over time. You guys remember, well, maybe you don't remember, but there was a time when Ethereum was purely inflationary. There was no burns happening. You guys may remember when it wasn't proof of stake, it was proof of work, right? Using a ton of energy, just like Bitcoin does, blah, blah, blah. But because Ethereum has more active devs, it has a leadership which is actually alive or known, unlike Satoshi. And I'm not against Bitcoin, by the way. Bitcoin, wonderful. Okay, love Bitcoin. But I like the fact that Ethereum can evolve and improve over time. And this most recent article is proof of that, because now, well, I think it's in February, I think the upgrade is going to occur. You will be able to run Ethereum nodes on a smartwatch. I mean, that's mind-boggling, right? With as little as 1 ETH. Democratizing the network. Everyone can earn a little bit of yield. I read just yesterday that Wall Street's slowly coming around. It's a learning curve, but they like the notion of the staking. They like the notion of this passive income. It's like 3.5% APY right now. It doesn't sound like a lot for crypto people. But man, you hold an asset that has upside potential. You earn 3.5% yield. It's a highly liquid asset, right? Wall Street can get behind that. Big money can get behind that. There's a lot to like here. Yeah, and it's inflationary when the market's good. So don't bet against Ethereum, y'all.
What people don't understand with crypto APR especially ones like that, 3.5%. You're like, oh, I can get that at the bank with the CD. Well, yeah, with the CD, you can earn 5% for now. That's going to be going down with interest rates going down and everything else. But you're getting that back in an asset in USD dollars that is going down via inflation, and spending power is decreasing. With Ethereum, you're getting 3.5% APY in an asset that hypothetically is going up. So if Ethereum doubles in price, that APR instead of 3.5% is like you got 7%. If it triples, you can do the math and it continues to grow. That is the upside potential of cryptocurrency, deflationary assets, and scarce assets. That's why we're here in crypto versus the CD in the bank. You're getting paid in US dollars, which spending power continues to go down and to the right at a rapid rate. So that's something to consider there. Let's look at the Bitcoin dominance chart because we did mention it. You can see here, been on an absolute tear off the lows. This is why altcoins are underperforming right here. One asset is continuing to eat up market share, even though there are hundreds and thousands of new projects and new memes launching each and every day, and Ethereum has just been underperforming. You can see we rallied here today to new highs for this Bitcoin dominance off the low to 59%. Again, Todd Butterfield over on Learn Crypto has been saying 59 to 60% since the Bitcoin dominance bounced down here around 54%. He is using a Wyckoff method and looking at overhead resistance levels. I'm, as an altcoin guy, as a degenerate, we are. I'm hoping that he is correct. We run up another percent or two. Everybody starts rotating to Bitcoin. And then between the news of the Verge, between Solana outperformance, between meme coin, mega cycle, whatever it is, altcoins can catch a bid, and this dominance trends back down back into the low 50s. So far, Bitcoin has been the place to be. Obviously, if you watch our show and you're getting into some of the small caps, Mello is up 20x, Dubcat's up 20x, Kai's up 5x, etc. You're outperforming Bitcoin. But as a general market sentiment, this is against the other massive large market cap projects. Bitcoin has been outperforming. Those are big ones in the top 100 have been underperforming the king here in the index, which is Bitcoin.
Yeah, thank you for pulling this up. I look at this in pretty simple terms. There's going to come a time when the investors in Bitcoin feel they've made enough profits that they start to sell, and they start to rotate their money, their profits, into altcoins because those haven't pumped yet. So that's going to happen at some point. Whether that happens at 61, 62, man, it hit 68 at one point. Geez, that was back, I don't know, that was in the last, probably before the last
bull cycle. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to hit something, but then then people are going to take profits fundamentally and start rotating into things that are undervalued. And that's when those are going to run. Then people FOMO into those things. You have a nice alt season and happy joy. So I don't overcomplicate it. People eventually take profits, sell into something else, and we'll be here for that.
Yeah, and historically, these upgrades for Ethereum, even when they haven't happened, I know some of you haven't been here since 2017, 2018. There's plenty of promises of Ethereum upgrades that didn't even happen. Leading into those upgrades was massive FOMO into Ethereum, massive alt seasons, and the fact that the Verge is scheduled for February next year gives a long enough time horizon for this election to get over with, and then allow for the market to mature and Ethereum to outperform, leading into the hype and speculation of that upgrade that happens in February. From a technical perspective, a normal looking drop, wherever this stops. It could stop here, 60, 61, 65, I don't know. A retest all the way back down to 48%, 49%. For Bitcoin dominance would make a lot of sense. As you can see, it got rejected here a lot. This would be resistance flipping support, and that would mean that our altcoin bags have soared in comparison to Bitcoin price. So that's the outlook. Like Amaru said, I don't know when, where, why, but this looks like a magnet to me. And if that's the case, Ethereum new all-time highs, altcoins doing immensely well, and we're all going to be filthy rich in this next bull market.
This is also a reminder to me. One of the things I talk about a lot is having a diversified portfolio. If you hold no Bitcoin, you're probably pissed off right now. Maybe you're making bad decisions. Maybe you're depressed. I don't know. It's not good for your mental health to not have had that upside. My portfolio isn't all Bitcoin, of course, but I have some because I just like having exposure to it. And then also I like the fact that in, 20 years from now, my couple of Bitcoins are going to retire my kids, but never mind. The point is have some diversification, right? You enjoy that upside of Bitcoin. You're holding your altcoins too. When Bitcoin dominance drops, your altcoin pumps. Happy joy. You made money on both ways. So have some diversification. Not financial advice as ever, but keeps my peace of mind and keeps me knowing, hey, I'm winning no matter what.
Yep. And then the last news article, and then we'll see if you have anything else you want to discuss. as you know, I have a long-standing prediction of $100,000 Bitcoin and $10,000 ETH by the end of 2024. And some people think, oh, that seems pretty crazy. We're almost at the end of October already, Nick. It's like, well, when I made the prediction, Bitcoin was in the 20s, and now it's over triple. So, we are closer to 100,000 than we are to 20,000. So I think so far, so good, we're on track. And I think people underestimate how explosive Bitcoin can be, especially when the uncertainty of the presidential election is over. So let's see. Don't take it from me. Take it from somebody who has a lot more money than me. Let's see what Bitwise executive says over here to Cointelegraph in an interview. The Trump election victory could push Bitcoin to 92,000, says the Bitwise exec. And he went on to say that a Trump victory will lead to a $92,000 Bitcoin in the month of November. Yes, November 5th is the election. If Trump wins, they announced that within 5 days, 10 days, whatever. By the end of November, this executive believes $92,000 Bitcoin is on the table. That means I only need to have another $8,000 rally from that between the last week of November and the entire month of December. So I think we're still on track here. It is a possibility. My opinion and Amaru disagree a little bit. I think if Kamala wins, there's going to be a lot of volatility, and we still have a bull market, but it's going to be much slower. If Trump wins, I think things get explosive very quickly. Remember, this individual is saying that the Bitcoin reserve is going to become a thing for the United States. If he wins, there's plenty of companies. The Microsoft CEO, one of the richest men in the world, is pro-Bitcoin, but has put $0 of company funds into Bitcoin. If Trump wins, I think that is an open invitation to add it to the books. We see massive outperformance against the S&P and NASDAQ from MicroStrategy, one of the only companies that has put Bitcoin on the books, and you can see the result for shareholders. Remember, all these stocks and all these companies have one goal in mind. That is to funnel dividends and results for shareholders. They don't care about the general public, to be honest. They're just trying to increase revenue and profits to put money in their own pocket and to pump shareholder bags. MicroStrategy has proven that owning Bitcoin pumps stock prices in Bitcoin bull markets. I think Microsoft, Tesla, potentially Apple follow suit quickly if Trump wins, and that's what really could spark the next rally of Bitcoin. Because remember, finite supply, very low inflation, huge loss supply. If you have massive whales, look up how much money Microsoft has in cash. Look up how much money Apple has in cash. Look how much money Tesla has in cash. If they start funneling any of that into Bitcoin, that is going to be a massive upside. And I think that's how we get to 100,000. Trump victory, massive start to the bull market, Bitcoin reserve for the United States Treasury, and upwards and onward we go. What do you think, Ian? I know you're going to come back at me and be like, well, I think if Kamala wins, it'll be okay, which is fine. Differing of opinions.
Well,
but,
I'll get to that in a second. I want to touch on a few points that you made. So for one, I think people do underestimate how quickly this asset can rise in value. Look, we're 30% or so away from $100,000 Bitcoin, right? So you string together a series of 5% gainer days, which is what happens when shit goes parabolic. You have day after day after day of 5%, 5%, 7%, 8%. Wow, keeps going. Doesn't take that many days to string together. So it can happen in a short amount of time. That's first and foremost. We only need 30% more to get to 100,000. So yes, can absolutely happen. Will it happen? I don't know. Can happen, yes. The second point I want to make, capitalism's great, man. It's all about, to me, FOMO, fear. And if Trump wins and people believe that he is in fact going to inject $250 billion into Bitcoin and put it in the strategic reserves, that is the number that has been floated, $250 billion. That is going to cause a ridiculous amount of FOMO, not just from companies. They're going to say, hey, we got the green light to do this, man, and it's smart to do this, and we're going to front run this. But countries, other countries are going to take their cue from the United States policy, and they're going to say, oh, fuck, well, we don't want to miss out on this. The U.S., $30 trillion economy or whatever, the biggest economy in the world by a mile, they're getting involved in crypto. They're buying into crypto and holding crypto, Bitcoin specifically. They're not going to want to get left behind either. We already saw that with some early movers in the smaller countries. They're willing to take more risks, so on and so forth, try new things. But if the U.S. comes in, $250 billion, funnel that into Bitcoin and to hodl it in the treasury reserves, you're going to see mass amount of FOMO from all these places. So I completely agree. Could happen, might happen. I think, by the way, my prediction on Trump, I'm at 85K at the end of the year. That's been my prediction for a while. A little bit more conservative. I'm not as heady with my predictions sometimes. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes it doesn't matter. 85K. If Kamala wins, I don't know if it's as bad as everybody says it's going to be, because the crypto moneyed class, the Coinbases of the world, the Brian Armstrongs, the whomever's, a lot of Silicon Valley guys. I know we talk a lot about the Silicon Valley guys that are coming in on Trump's side, which is true, but there's a lot of money also getting funding to Kamala. They have outspent every single industry outside of the oil industry this cycle from a lobbying standpoint. $130 million has come in from the crypto industry this election cycle. And Kamala has taken note. Chuck Schumer has taken note. All these guys and people who previously were skeptical, this and that, you dangle enough money in front of them, and all of a sudden they're singing a different tune. Now, whether that translates into policy, whether that translates into against or getting fired, whether that translates into much of anything, that's an open question. But the fact is, they're now paying major lip service and catering to and essentially pandering to the crypto industry and crypto holders. I mean, that cannot be ignored, and it's a result of all that big money coming in. So I'm not quite as bearish if Kamala, gets elected. We'll see what happens. Probably, I've been on record saying it's going to be less. It's going to be less than if Trump wins.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be a bloodbath by any stretch, because crypto's permeated all of society with all their money now.
Yeah, and I've heard, that side or more of that side on like Wolf of Wall Street. So he had a guest on talk about, everything I said about Trump being true, easier, great. But if the reason Bitcoin was created, anti-government, anti-establishment, thrives when there is world chaos. If everybody thinks Kamala Harris is really that bad and she wins, then Bitcoin wins for a different reason. It wins because inflation continues. It wins because monetary uncertainty in policy. It wins because global uncertainty around wars. So Bitcoin can still then serve as the gold and the hedge for individuals in this chaotic world that people predict would happen if Kamala wins. Not everybody thinks that's the case for Kamala. I think it's the case based on the data I've seen, but that is an angle that some people are hammering into. Bitcoin will win no matter what. Trump is just the easier route, the faster route. Kamala is, hey, we have some volatility, some uncertainty. The bull market still continues. And if she is as bad as people think she will be, then Bitcoin is going to survive, just like gold is going to new all-time highs during all this global unrest and uncertainty. So I think it's a win-win. You're in the right ecosystem. I would prefer the easier route, the faster route, and the more hunky-dory happy route where all these countries and businesses are getting on board, rather than the doomsday where we're winning because everybody else globally is losing. But I think you're in the right sector, you're in the right space. Figure out how to make more money, figure out how to get into Bitcoin, figure out how to learn more about crypto, and continue to get on your journey here in this investment class.
Yeah, I think long-term, that's a really great point. Long-term, Bitcoin is going to be fine, because frankly, global chaos, uncertainty, financial financial issues, inflation, these problems aren't going away. The massive debt problem that we have they're not really, maybe there'd be less, maybe they more, depending on who's administration, but those things change every 4 years anyway. So long-term, Bitcoin, it's a safe haven asset. It's outperformed everything else over the past 10 years. It's that hedge. You want to be involved in this asset class, whether it's $500, whether it's $500,000, doesn't matter. Get involved, get on board with this crypto revolution, guys. And by the way, when you go to buy your first Bitcoin, use our referral code on Bybit, because you can earn up to $30,000. So thank us for that later. But look, great episode today, man. We're going to be back with some more live streams. We did our first yesterday, had a little technical difficulty, going to get that sorted. Going to have some live streams going on. We got a lot of spaces coming up. We got the shill spaces tomorrow. Want to hear about your memes or new projects. Crypto Paradise on a tear, guys, and we're not slowing down. Any final thoughts there, Hitman?
S&P 500 went first to new all-time highs. Gold went second, now at new all-time highs. Will Bitcoin be third? We seem to think so. So smash that like, share, and subscribe button to find out and figure out how you can capitalize on the opportunity staring you right in the face.
Those charts look pretty dang similar to me. I'm not a chart guy, but I'm buying in. I'm bought in, baby. All right, guys. Great stuff today. And until next time, we'll see you on the beach.